Good morning and welcome to Total Fitness Saturday. Early time, 9 a.m. Now today's routine is called Thunderstruck. It has what I call quite a notorious finishing challenge, but it's only as difficult as you make it. I mean, really, I guess the fitter you are, the harder it is. So don't worry, there's a level for you to do. But it does push you to your limits, and particularly in the UK, it's quite hot at the moment, so literally, it should come with a bit of a health warning. You know, if you are extremely hot, you might want to think about how you sort of pace yourself, because it is a bit of a killer, the finisher. Anyway, before we get there, we've got some 2-rep ladders, using body weight and kettlebell, or 2 if you've got a bit of variety. That's great. But yeah, I suggest you go nice and steady on the main bit today. Save yourself for the finisher. Right, let's get warmed up first, and then I'll go through the detail with you. Right, let's go. Put you on the spot there, nice and move. explains it. If you need any extra bit of air, you want to go outside at any time, obviously, feel free. Make sure you've got plenty of hydration, because it's going to be warm, I can tell, hot already. Right, so, before we get to the infamous part of the workout, we've got some 2-rep ladders. We used to do a lot of oscillating, add 2 minus, but look, it got a bit confusing. So we're just going to keep it simple. We're going to do 2-rep ladders, 2 exercises, 5 minutes. We're going to do 2 reps on each, 4, 6 on each, 8 on each, 10 on each, 12 on each, and see how far we can get in 5 minutes. 2 minutes rest, and I'll also explain the next one we do. I suggest, as I said before, rather than mental from the off, nice and steady, keep moving at a steady pace. That's really what you want to be doing, okay? First combination, does a bit of everything. So you're going to do squat thrust to deadlift with your kettlebell, and then squat thrust press ups with the upper body. So, kettlebell between the heels is like your pick-up point for your deadlift. Okay, hands down, out, in, 1. Okay, you've got 2 of those. Okay, remember with your hinge, knees down, engage the glutes. Okay, let's step to the side, and you're going to do press up squat thrust. Okay? Press up, in, 1. Knees in, 2. Good. And then 4, 4, 6, 6. And see how far you can go in 5 minutes. Okay? But don't see it as a race, please. A run, good solid form, and a nice steady pace is what you're looking for. Not getting more than anyone else. That's not the idea of this. Okay? Great if you do, but that isn't the objective. The objective is to keep going and use the best form possible. Okay? Squat thrust deadlift. Out, in, up. Is your first exercise. Press up squat thrust. Keep adding 2 on each. 5 minutes. See how far you can get. You then get 2 minutes rest. Now I'll explain then the next one. 2 and 2, 4 and 4, 6, 8, 8, 10, 12, 12. Yeah. Keep adding 2, can't go wrong. Right, okay. See how far you can, get. Right, okay, number 1 then. Right. So, just bear with me, we'll just set the timer up. Lovely, rest. Okay. Your next combo. Single arm row per side and body weight plyo squat. So we go 1, 2 from the floor. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay. If you've not quite down those bents over rows, you'd rather do a staggered row, just to give yourself a little bit more protection. Okay, you can do like that. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay. So you choose. Remember, when you're anything rowing or lats, well, anything, press up chest, shoulders down, engage the lats. Okay. So when I'm rowing, my elbows are in my tips to the back wall. Yeah? So the weights to the back wall. Okay, not like this. Yeah. See the difference? It's almost like you're trying to bring your elbow around your body. You'll get maximum lat engagement there. Imagine that though. Okay? As opposed to that. That's rubbish. Okay, got that. Right. Okay. Right, get ready then. Row. Play squat. 3, 2. Come on.
Never be controlled by evil, but it's got my soul. Sticky like chicory, way to fill my hole. Straight from the knee.
So push up. Okay? So, from the floor, up. 1, 2, alternate, walk down, push up. 1, 2, and then back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is quite a tough one to get all the way to the top with. Right, you've got 30 seconds. Clean press.
Hammer to push up.
Clean, hammer to push up, yeah. The clean is a roll and a roll. Yeah, there, let it roll around and it finishes here. You can always use a dumbbell instead. You go one like that, okay? Right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Right, next one is a lot more like core and control. So, leg to hip raise. Okay, here's number one. Take your time. Okay, and then leg, and then push to the seam as you think. 1, 2. If you're in the control though, you don't want to get in this. Okay? Control. Yeah, calf so hot and essence. Yeah. Probably people watching in Walkers, you can vlog first, now they're going on the back. But for the UK, this is like the Sahara. So yeah, legs are hip. Then you're going to go right, stand up. Per side on this one. So you're going to rack it up. You're going to try and keep this nice and level, nice and straight and still in that rack position. Hand under chin, pull it in. Okay, up. 1, 2, and then switch sides. And then go with the left side. Twice. Then 4 legs are hip. So on and so forth, okay? See how we get on. You're leading with the leg, you've got the side on, and you're doing each side, remember? Right, here we go. 2. knees again. Okay? Or you can wait till the end, it doesn't matter. We'll get some at the end. Right. So this next one isn't particularly cardio. That's a bit of a calm before the storm. Just to work on hip function really. So we're going to do glute bridge leg extension per side and Cossack squats. Okay? All body weight. Okay, so glute bridge, now the motions, first of all, I'm pushing through the heels, and I'm tilting my hips to there. So I'm firing the hips in this direction, and then keeping the knees level, I'm going to extend one, back, sorry, two on each side, one, back to the floor, two, one, I'm still trying to keep my knee in line, two, okay? So you try not to do sort of this or you're keeping that. Imagine there's a ball running between your knees. You have to raise it to touch, obviously, okay? But really, it's the leg that's staying on the ground will be the one that you really work. So when I'm doing that, I'm squeezing this glute. Two. Squeeze the right glute. One. Bring it in. Two. Okay? Forward each side, so on. Cossack squat. Again, it depends a lot on hip ability. You should find your loose one. There we go. So nice wide stance. You go down, it's going to squat that side. One, two. We'll just do two as in one, two. Okay? Keep adding up. So those Cossack squats, you may only just get a little bit first, but keep working on that depth. So eventually, coming right down there, eventually. Great hip opener. Great for everything else. Actually, it's meant to be a little bit more gentle this one, because we've got a killer coming up. Alright, ready? Right, ready? Well done. Keep moving up, not long now. 2 minutes. Right, put everything away. Set your mat if you delicate hands. Okay. Here we are. I swear the BBC said there was going to be nuclear war and super plague and death heat or something, so maybe we should read it. Maybe it's your... Right, I despise this finish above, it's not, you know, do your version of it, and in all seriousness, literally today, it is hot, so health warning, don't push yourself too much. You know, I've had a hard week, I'm not sleep, so I'm saying to myself now, I'm just going to have a nice steady one. However, once the music hits, you do tend to get carried away. But if you can, just pace yourself, you've got a target. So, the idea is, now if you're doing this for the first time, 50 burpees, right? You've got 5 minutes to do 50 burpees. However, the bell goes on the first minute, you have to do 5 sit-ups before you start. The bell goes every minute, every one of those 5 minutes, and you have to stop what you're doing, and do 5 sit-ups. Okay? So that's the catch. Stop and 5. Okay, so if you're going to do 50, again, if you're a first timer, aim for 10 and give yourself some rest. Okay? And then if you've done it a few times, you're a bit of a veteran, maybe go 60, 70, extremely tough, not 60. Okay? 70 is a killer. 80, then you're in the realms of the inhuman. 90, and you'll feel it for about a week. And 100, well, that'll be very long day. I'll manage it once, and that's it. Never again. You're only 50, I'll find out for you. I'll be still doing it. No, yeah, look, you just work to your ability. And that's it. Just see how far you get, set yourself a target. What I will say is maybe make a mental note or actual note, because you know on your phone, Thunderstruck, 61. And then next time you do it, aim for 62 at least. Okay? If you want to do your maths and do like I just said, right, I'll go for 12, and end up doing like that is, like 12 is, so that's 60, 70, 65, whatever it is. And you can do that. Go for 18 each minute. If you really know, obviously the 100 is 20 each minute. Right, okay. One more thing, obviously doing that amount of volume, you're not going to have the ultimate form in the world doing 100 burpees in 5 minutes, so don't worry too much. I try and get a class on my head each time, but honestly, you don't have to. I'm certainly not fully extending because there's no way you do it in that time. But back above is a good standard, or even just as long as you have, you know. We're not going to be too strict with form today. Okay? Yeah, have a go at this. Right, here we go. 9:30.